We asked Tony Pulizzi who surprised him the most on American Idol. This guy is Tony P, as many people call him, has been on a lot of different TV shows, played with a lot of smooth jazz guys, Dave Koz, in the pop world, Dionne Warwick, George Benson, Natalie Cole. But in this clip, we talk American Idol and how great some of these performers are. Is there anybody on American Idol, and I'll talk about the people you've played with any other songs in a second. Is there anybody on American Idol that was struggling, that somehow just pulled a rabbit out of a hat when they were, because you're there when they're first, they go in and they know what they're going to play. Is there someone that really surprised you?
That really surprised me. You know what? I can comment that all these kids that I worked with have talent. One of the biggest one is Casey Abrams. He was I don't know if you've seen some of the things he plays, a stand-up bass, sings, he does some stick, but he's a very versatile guy. And we hit it off right away. It was like, and we still do gigs around town, when I need each other. We actually did, after the show, he asked me to play in Las Vegas. I put a band together in Las Vegas outside one of the casinos. We opened up for Cheap Trick. And I'm like, wait, that's great. And look, man, and I have to keep remembering, it's like these kids are amazingly talented. And he says, Tony, what's the band again? I'm like, Casey, the band is Cheap Trick, and they've done this, that. Because if they're young, they don't know what came before. I said, these are some of the greatest musicians ever. He says, you got it, Tony. He says, and he gets on the mic, this is Cheap Trick. And that, but amazing talent.
How did it feel when you first got the gig at American Idol? I always feel like, and I'm going to ask you that about Broadway after, because it's a different vehicle. It's a different scene. And let me start with this. My son almost quit drumming at one point. I quit drumming lessons because I hated notation. I didn't want to read notation. And it gets a lot of people out of music. If it's going to get you out of music, keep the instrument and forget the notation, because at least stay in the music. But learning notation, knowing how to read music, that you can't get these gigs unless you can't, those kind of gigs at least, unless you know how to read music.
No, you don't. And I have to thank my parents for, making me starting to read. I started on piano, then I went to guitar. Being on those sets, you're in the in-ears, and it just happened this week because I think I told you in the email, I got pulled in to do half the season with Dancing with the Stars. So Ray's on that show right now. So it's the same thing. I'm listening to him. We are on Talkback. We're listening. We got, and this thing is being streamed on Disney Plus right now, but it was a live show on Disney Plus. It was the first time they streamed it live. So you got to be on. You got to be ready to go. I kind of like just put myself in a mode that I'm just going to start reading these notes when it goes, and I go wait for the clicker to go off, because we are on Click Track. Yeah. And I did do several pre-records within the stuff to make it more full, but the band is playing live, and you better be on point, because if you're not, then you're gone, man.
I don't know if you know Beverly Staunton. She used to be one of the singers on Dancing with the Stars. She's from Quebec. I got to know her in Vancouver, and she's a session girl in, Michael Bublé says she's the most talented girl out of Vancouver, but she used to do it. And she says, man, there's no room for mistakes on that show.
Oh, no. I don't know. Was she with, what year?
Right in the beginning of Dancing with the Stars. She sang all the songs when they, I don't know how, it must be about 7 years, I would think, since she's been gone.
I'm part of a different band on that show. I don't know her, but yeah, there was a big band that played, and now there's a different band. TV, you don't know what's going to happen. Look, today there's a gig. That's it. That's how I live my life. The next day, who knows? So that's how I.
I like people say geographical fixes don't work. I'm going, well, it depends upon what parts of the puzzle you look at, because as you know, I just moved from Calgary to Moncton, New Brunswick on the coast out here, where Hurricane Fiona's on its way. But and I actually thought it was going to be raining heavy by the time you and I talked, but it's not going to start for a few hours.
Okay.
But I like a fresh surrounding. I like new people. I like the feeling of being in a city where I don't know people, and then quickly you get to know people. I like the excitement, the scariness of a move. I like all the pieces I like so much, and it revives me so much. It's like a new skin.
Yeah, that's what I mean, when I moved out, I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, let's put it this way. Up to that time, I was a teacher for many, many years. I taught at a college, Cuyahoga Community College. I taught many students, and I that's what I did. And I had my little gigs and stuff. But I started coming out to LA in the early 2000s at the NAMM shows and just trying to get to know people. I think when you establish yourself, then you can live anywhere. I just didn't have that, and I needed to establish myself in that. But a lot of that was my responsibility to make that happen. I had to go out to LA to do that. But I do have to thank social media at that time. I started meeting all kinds of people at that, at that moment, Facebook and like that. But going out to NAMM, meeting all these people, and then coming home, you can take that energy. Maybe that energy will last you maybe for like 2 weeks, maybe. But after that, it's back to the old thing. So it's like, how are you going to keep this thing going? Well, I had to take it to the next step. But by that time I had moved, I was working with people in LA. People were coming from LA into Cleveland to request to work with me. And that helped me as too. That didn't mean they were going to save me when I moved out to LA. They were happy. Hey, we got a guy in Cleveland that we can work with. We can do some gigs. But then every time these people move off to, it's like, oh man, I can't call these people in this town anymore that I can count on.
Tony P, as he's known to a lot of his friends and fans, has a brand new EP out. He's released a whole bunch of songs, and we'll have links to it in the description of this page. He's such a nice guy, and he's worked with so many people. A lot of smooth jazzers, but George Benson, as mentioned, Natalie Cole, Dionne Warwick, been on a lot of big shows like American Idol. Get more information on him via the links in the description. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. More from Tony P in a few days.